Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank Re-Up Your Arsenal, Part 23. We're finally going to the final plan of the game, where Dr. Nefarious has his main base of operations, and where his second bio-obliterator is stationed at. We're gonna go there and teach Dr. Nefarious a jolly good lesson on why he should never try to take over the galaxy and force everyone to be robots and not squishies. Of course, we can't just land right where Dr. Nefarious is. Before we go to fight Dr. Nefarious, we have to go for his line of defenses, and of course he's going to have an army of Tyrannoids, robotic mechanized Tyrannoids protecting him, and these Tyrannoids are pretty much just the same Tyrannoids we see in this game thus far. They don't really offer anything much different than what we've seen before, so we can just easily decimate these Tyrannoids with our greatest arsenal, our Up Your Arsenal. This game's called Up Your Arsenal, so we're just going to use our great arsenal of weapons to go and obliterate these Tyrannoids as if they were just any other Tyrannoids we've seen in this game before. This only just made us play for this one other level again. Pretty much a lot of games do this. They don't just make you fight the final boss, they actually make you play a level first before you actually go and take on the final boss. We're going to go and take on Dr. Nefarious. We're going to go for this huge challenge where we have to obliterate all these Tyrannoids with our weapons and solve some more puzzles. Yeah, it's going to be some puzzle-solving stuff. And these Ratchet and Clank games are known for having their puzzle-solving segments too. It's not just mindless action in the last level. This game really wanted to remind us that all those gadgets we've acquired through the course of this game still exist. Like, remember this thing, the Tyra-geyser? We haven't used this in a long time. This Tyrannoid's going to question if we're really a Tyrannoid or not, because clearly he's robotic and we're not. We're gonna have to come with some kind of story. We have to give him a sales pitch in the Tyrannoid language, where we're pretty much gonna tell him that, oh, somehow I didn't get turned into a robot, but I am a real Tyrannoid. You have to let me in. He doesn't really believe us. So we're gonna have to tell him another convincing sob story in this language, where we play Guitar Hero with our controller, just so we can make some, like, triangle noises, like ding ding, something that we played, like Ralph Wiggum trying to play the triangle. Just so we could get him to lower the ray shield, so we could get through and we could, continue on our path to get to where Dr. Nefarious is. He's not easily convinced. We really have to, go full throttle here, go full, aggressive salesman tactics on him. Where you have to go and tell him everything. Saying, come on, would I really lie to you? Would a fellow Tyrannoid really lie to another fellow Tyrannoid? I'm just gonna let us up here now. Up on this ladder, we're going to do these are bolt grabbers, so we can collect more of these bolts. It's got 7,000 bolts, for more than 7,000 bolts from doing that. Oh, there's another one there too, but before we climb up there, we're going to have to guise again, so this because the Tyrannoid sees you guys into a Tyrannoid, it's going to know you're not really a Tyrannoid. It's not going to let it, it's not going to drop the ray shield and let us through. We're smarter than that, so we can just use our more salesman tactics, or salesman tactics charm. Things like, come on, would I really lie to you? You know I'm the real thing. There's a whole crisis going on, and Dr. Nefarious is probably going to discard us afterwards. I don't even know what he would have planned on doing with the Tyrannoids if his plan's going to be successful. He might just throw them in the garbage. Or sell them to a junkyard somewhere, maybe send them into slavery. Because, the greatest empires in history always did that. They would get some group of people to do something for them, and then afterwards, they would just treat them like crap and set up like internment camps or something like that for them. That's probably what Dr. Nefarious would have done to these Tyrannoids if his plan's going to be successful, but his plan won't be successful. No plan is ever successful, and Ratchet and Clank exists in your galaxy. And we even killed that guy too, so you'll never have to suffer from what Dr. Nefarious is going to put them through. And of course, they still have a small variety of different enemies too. There's these robots that are very pathetic, these pathetic robots that don't really do much. It's a good thing we have our flux rifle with us. I'm trying to use it as little as possible. There aren't any there aren't any ammo pickups for the flux rifle, so you really have to save your flux rifle. But we don't really need to play it. We don't really need to use this flux rifle to get it upgraded. It already is at V5. It was one of the easiest weapons in the game to get fully upgraded. The flux rifle. It's better than just being a sniper rifle. It's really a lot more powerful than that. There's a similar weapon in Ratchet Deadlocked, and oh boy, I'm going to be using that one a lot. It's one of the best weapons in that game. And more than 90% of the time I use it for things that's not sniping. Just use our bouncer as well too to blow down those Tyrannoids, those robotic Tyrannoids. collect all this stuff. And look at that, more robots. It's like they just thought, we need to put some sort of hazard here. I know, let's just put some robots in there, robot guards. And yet, we don't really see any of those robot guard things have been seen stacks. You don't really see much of them in this level. The last level of the game, they could have just thrown they could have just dumped the whole fruit basket on us. But for some reason, they didn't. Not even in the challenge mode do they do that, where they dump the fruit basket on you. They've dumped everything in here too. They don't really dump everything that much. How am I gonna kill these guys? I could use the disc blade gun. Just throw some bad PS2 games, or maybe even some DVDs made by Warner Brothers at them. That's what they could have done. That's what Warner Brothers should have done if they're bad DVDs and HD DVDs. They should have just used them as like ammo for a disc blade gun like this. That way we never have an ammo shortage. Just use Warner Brothers DVDs on them that were victims of disc rot. Oh yeah, I remember these challenges, these Tempest challenges, where it makes us go through this locking mechanism. We have to solve this colored puzzle. Good luck doing this if you're colorblind. And it's like several rounds. So you have to do 4 rounds of this. We have to have this puzzle solving. It's like the game just remembered, oh yeah, I have puzzle solving segments in here too. Let's go and throw a few of those in there. We're gonna play Tempest again. Yeah, I think this game loves making us play Tempest. We collect this stuff and go on to the next round. I mean, I definitely like this better than some of the puzzle-solving stuff it made us do in the first 2 Ratchet and Clank, that's for sure. Remember in Ratchet and Clank 2, Going Commando, they made us solve this puzzle where it's like a sphere, like a spherical ball. It always reminds me of Tetrasphere a little bit, but it's nowhere near as fun as Tetrasphere. They should downright put Tetrasphere into one of these games, because Tetrasphere almost never gets re-released on anything. It's just stuck on the N64. It's just one game that's stuck on the N64. I've never seen it on anything else before either. Guess it's one of the reasons why you should own an N64 then. So you could play Tetrasphere and Star Wars Rogue Squadron and and Shadows of the Empire and some other games you can't easily play on other stuff. Just play it on the N64. Maybe that's what the real sell point of that system was. After all, the unique games. I mean, any game system tries to make its sell point its unique games. Like one of the most unique games ever is Jumping Flash. And there aren't really any games like Jumping Flash on anything else other than the original PlayStation. And it's one of the greatest games ever. I mean, Robin in that game used like an arsenal of different weapons, and now Ratchet's using an arsenal of weapons and some other gadgets to solve these puzzles. You know, Ape Escape did stuff like this too. The Ape Escape franchise did these kinds of things where they make us do some puzzle solving so we can figure out how to get some monkey that's hidden behind somewhere. A lot of times it could take years where you can find every single monkey in the Ape Escape series, especially if we're not using walkthroughs or guides. I don't always use walkthroughs and guides when I play games, and sometimes I do. I try to use those as little as possible. I mean, honestly, I don't have the guidebook for some of those anymore. I sometimes think they used to make games like really challenging or really difficult to figure out on purpose, so it's just a way to sell the guidebook. Like, I remember Crash Bandicoot 2 really violated the Geneva Convention by putting so many different things in different places you never would have in a billion years thought of looking, and they were able to get away with it by afterwards saying, oh, if you really want to solve this, go buy the strategy guide. That's the way we're going to get more money on us. That's not really relevant nowadays, because nowadays we have YouTube where you can just watch anything, whenever, wherever you want, at your own free will. Just gonna tell us some more stuff about the new upgrade for the Bouncer. Just feels the same as it always has. But then again, the Bouncer was a pretty powerful weapon to begin with, so what more could you possibly do with it? I guess there's a whole lot. I mean, we won't get to see the true greatest weapon in the game because we don't have it unlocked at all in this mode. In this, like, before we beat the game, which is the Rhino. Yeah, every Ratchet and Clank game has some kind of variant of the Rhino weapon. I remember the Ape Ratchet from Ape Escape 3 had a Rhino with him when we were sent to capture him. And he was also in that Ape Ratchet from Ape Escape 3 was also in the Korean version. Not surprisingly, because it was directly based off the Japanese version. And that version of the game was lost media until last September when I told people in a lost media Discord server that I wanted it found and it was lost and I found someone just happened to have it. So they uploaded it to archive.org. It was found. partially thanks to me because I made them aware of it, and I consider that a major win for my cause, and no one else seemed to care about it or was looking for it. Guess not very many people care about Ape Escape 3 these days, or any Ape Escape games in general. Quite a shame, really. Or maybe that's for the better. Sometimes less is more. Now Dr. Nefarious is flying off in his bio-obliterator. We didn't catch him in time. Maybe set up a trap so we'd go all the way over there. Now the Galactic Rangers are going to take us to where his bio-obliterator is, and we can finally go and fight Dr. Nefarious and kill him once and for all. On this desolate, dark planet that looks very dark and depressing, like any bad guy's lair probably would be. Wonder if this is any planet we've seen in the Quark Vid comics, or maybe some new planet that was just created for this game. There's Al telling us more stuff about the bio-obliterator, but we don't really care. All we know is just to smash it, right? You know, like Hulk smash and smash it. That's all we need to know what we're gonna do with it. Ray Phoenix, signing out.